the last few years, we have chosen to ditch the artificial Christmas tree and buy a real one. However, one year it felt like it took us ages to find the perfect tree. Some were lopsided, some were sparse at the top, whilst others were top heavy. Then some had gaps in all the wrong places. My husband reminded me, if you want a perfect tree, get a fake one. These are all imperfect because they are the real deal. He's not wrong. When we bought a piece of furniture made of real wood as opposed to previous pieces made of veneer, I thought they were faulty because of the dents which exposed knots created in the grain of the wood. I have learned that the knots are blemishes in the tree, and I have come to love these imperfections. I discovered that often they are caused by the natural growth of the tree, but sometimes the way that they appear comes from specific circumstances in which they were formed. For example, when a branch becomes injured or dies while still attached to the tree, a loose knot is formed as the trunk grows larger. Some knots are formed by excessive pruning and others through disease. It's the same for us. You see, we all have our different foibles, weaknesses, quirks and imperfections. But loss, hurts, disappointments, broken dreams, sickness and even the loss of a loved one can also leave a mark on our lives, like a knot on a tree. However, it's important that we see the beauty God brings out in our imperfections and pain, like the rich flowing grain of wood which grows around the beautiful and unique patterns of a knot. Isaiah tells us God will give us beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. These knots that may have been formed through injury and pain are often turned into habitats for nesting birds, and the same is true of our pockets of pain. A lady I know setting up a ministry to help girls who struggle with addictions. This ministry was set up out of the mark left on her own life through her own personal struggles. Now this woman has created a habitat for girls to be healed and recover from their struggles and difficulties. She allowed her ashes to be turned into beauty by God's grace. On the other hand, I know of others who have allowed their times of pain to become infected with bitterness, resentment and unforgiveness. Ashes, if not turned over to God's grace, will simply grow into bitterness, not beauty. Whatever you've been through, whatever marks and scars you bear, trust the Lord to work all things together for good. Then beauty will flow out of your imperfections, whatever they are. And like my Christmas tree, you may not be perfectly symmetrical, but you will be the real deal, a true beauty in God.